Vivo's V series was all about innovation. The V11 Pro brought an in-display fingerprint sensor for a mid-range price segment. And the Vivo V15 Pro, well, it had a pop-up selfie camera. But since then, Vivo seems to be holding back for some reason. This year's Vivo V19 that I have with me right now is nothing out of the ordinary, to be honest. However, there are some things that I like about it and a lot of things that I wished Vivo improved in the next iteration of its V series. So let's get straight into the review after this short message from our sponsor, Dr.Fone. If you have forgotten the passcode to your iPhone or iPad, don't worry. Dr.Fone will help you unlock it without much hassle. It helps you unlock your device in different situations and is compatible with all kinds of passcodes, whether it be Face ID, Touch ID, or normal 4 to 6-digit passcodes. It can also remove the iCloud activation passcode on iOS devices as well. And good news is that there are no technical skills required for this, just a few simple steps and that's it. But what you do have to note is that after unlocking, all the data on your iPhone or iPad will be erased. So if you are okay with that, feel free to check the link given in the description for further information. The designs of Vivo's V series usually do not disappoint, and this one shares the same story. It's a glass bag that looks nice and has a good grip as well. The feeling on the hands is satisfying too. However, the build is questionable as it has a plastic frame surrounding it, which might bring some durability issues in the long run. Additionally, all buttons have a plasticky feel to it and don't give that satisfactory feedback. Moreover, the camera bump at the back is a pretty large one and it might get scratched if not taken care of, so be sure to slap on a good case. You get one inside the box too, which might work for a few months. Mine is working pretty well till now. Overall, there is nothing much to go on about the design. It's nothing great, yet it's not bad either. In comparison, I think the Galaxy A71 steals Vivo V19's thunder with its good looks. But what can certainly be labeled good on this device is its display. It is a 6.44 inches AMOLED panel with excellent quality. And the best thing about it is that it can get really bright. Being an AMOLED display it is, one has an always-on display and dark mode too. And about the dark mode, Vivo does not make the theme entirely dark. It's only partially dark, unlike what Samsung does. So I would say that I like Samsung's implementation better. But keeping the nitpicking aside, you really get a good panel in the Vivo V19, and anyone who requires a good display experience will certainly like Vivo V19's display. One thing, however, is that the dual punch holes are kind of weird looking and slightly bigger as well. And because it's on the right side, making the notifications push towards the left, it kind of makes me have an OCD, but it's just me, I guess. While we're still talking about the display, let's talk about the in-display fingerprint sensor that works really fast and accurately. It's only when your hands are wet it fails to recognize your print, otherwise I've no complaints about it. In fact, I prefer it over A71 scanner that's a tad bit slow to my liking. Alright, let's move on to the performance side of things. And as I said in the beginning, Vivo has been holding back for some reason. And one of the reasons for it is the choice of chipset. It features the Snapdragon 712, which we see on phones that are half the price. So performance-wise, the Vivo V19 seems utterly overpriced, especially considering that its competitors have a much better offering chipsets for a similar price. Talking about the real-life performance, the Snapdragon 712 is still a decent chipset though. Hence, doing normal tasks like browsing the internet, using WhatsApp, and the like, you won't feel a hint of lag in it. Similarly, multitasking is not a problem either, all thanks to the 8 GB of RAM it provides. Gaming performance, however, has exceeded my expectations, and that is because Vivo has optimized the popular games like PUBG and Call of Duty to run well. So both the Galaxy A71 and the Vivo V19 have a very similar gaming performance. The highest you can go on both the phones in PUBG is HD graphics and high frame rates, and up to ultra frame rates when you set the graphics to smooth or balanced. I got a decent 40 FPS lag-free experience in smooth graphics and ultra frame rate on the Vivo V19. However, with the superior Adreno 618 GPU and the Snapdragon 730, you will definitely notice better graphics quality on the Galaxy A71 when put in comparison to the Vivo V19. I also found the dedicated Ultra Game mode to be useful, which made for an immersive gaming experience. Additionally, there's also a feature in the game mode that helps you train to distinguish which side footsteps are approaching or which sides gunshots are being fired from, etc. So if you are a PUBG player, you might like what Vivo is offering here. Similarly, other games like Call of Duty ran considerably well too. Both the Galaxy A71 and the Vivo V19 can go up to very high settings and run equally well. In terms of graphics, again the Galaxy A71 does a better job, like Vivo's look a bit sharpened. Overall, I like what Vivo has done with the game mode and the optimization with certain games to match the competition. However, I cannot help but think that this optimization would have been so much better if Vivo had provided a slightly better chipset. That would have given Vivo such an edge in performance. Okay, let's get to the camera performance of this device. There's a quad camera setup at the back that comprises of a 48 megapixel primary camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens, a 2 megapixel depth sensor, and a 2 megapixel macro lens. At the front, there is a 32 megapixel primary and an 8 megapixel secondary ultra wide angle lens. About the performance of the primary back camera, I would say that it's really good, actually as good as the A71. What's different in pictures among the two is the color tone, as Vivo seems to have a yellow tone in its images. Also, many times it tends to saturate the images a little bit more, but most of the time you get good results. Take the examples of some of these samples I shot. They have a good dynamic range, pleasing colors, and ample details, all of which work together to give us nice pictures. Ultra wide-angle images are satisfactory too. They are almost on par with the A71 except for the slightly better colors and a wider field of view on the A71. Even portraits from the V19 are nice. The subject focus is adequate on it, just like the A71. It's just that the A71 manages to maintain colors in the background a little better. But Vivo is very close to the competition too. Plus, what you get in Vivo are various lighting effects that you can apply to make your portraits look even better. I even put up a picture on my Instagram account a few days ago using the monochrome background effect. I think it looked really cool. Likewise, if you are someone who likes to edit their pictures a lot, there are various inbuilt filters and effects too. Even selfies from the V19 are good looking, but I found them to be beautified a little, even in the normal mode. But despite your skin looking a bit smoothened, the selfies look pleasing nonetheless. However, the Galaxy A71 selfies do a better task in maintaining the background exposure. Whereas, as you can see, the V19 seems to solely focus on the subject only. The quality of the V19 selfie is on par with the A71 though. You get a lot of filters and sticker options too if you are into that kind of stuff. There's also a wide-angle lens at the front that can come really handy while you're taking group pictures. However, the quality of it is not as good as the primary one. For videos, you get options to shoot up to 4K 30 FPS. However, the 4K videos and 1080p 60 videos are not stable. Hence, the EIS works only in 1080p 30 FPS videos. The colors and details look good on all the resolutions though. You also have something called an ultra steady mode that stabilizes your videos a little, but that option is only there in the 1080p 30 FPS option. Overall, the cameras on the Vivo V19 have very good performance. However, given the price, it would have been so much better if the company had provided a telephoto lens and optical image stabilization, instead of the macro lens here, as the macro lens hardly performs well. However, one complaint that I have with Vivo is that the camera UI here is a bit messed up. For someone who is not used to this interface, it can get a bit difficult to operate. For instance, you have to click on the lens option to shoot wide-angle images, and if you want to get back to normal mode, you have to cross it, which I feel is a bit more complicated. Similarly, there are two options for clicking portrait images, which could be made simpler. And it's not just the camera UI. The overall interface of FunTouch OS is not perfect. For example, you have to drag down the taskbar twice to get to settings, and as mentioned earlier, dark mode is not fully dark. But Vivo has finally listened to complaints and put the quick toggle menu on the top. And Vivo's digital assistant Jovi has been refined too. I really like the smart scene feature of it, which gives you some of your health and usage stats like reminders to drink water or information on how much time you have continuously been using your phone, etc. In the future, I hope Vivo focuses on the usability aspects of its UI more and optimizes it better for its users to get a seamless experience. Okay, now let's get to its battery life. It's got a huge 4500 mAh battery that is very enduring. It has given me more than a day's backup on medium usage, which consisted of some gaming, a lot of social media, a lot of chatting and making calls. So I would rate its battery life as 8.5 out of 10 points, which I consider to be good. Charging is pretty fast here too. The phone comes with a 33-watt charger inside the box that gets the battery fully charged in slightly over 1 hour, which is impressive. And the standby time on the Vivo V19 is very good here as well, with the always-on display feature on. The A71 on the other hand, or my primary phone, the Galaxy S20 Plus, does not give me such good standby time. So Vivo has done a pretty good job here. I also like the speakers on the Vivo V19. It has a very balanced audio output. But sadly, V19 speakers are not as loud as, say, the Galaxy A71. Also, the Galaxy A71 has better dynamic range when it comes to audio as compared to the Vivo V19. Summing up, I think we all know what's stopping the Vivo V19 to be really competitive in the market. It's the choice of its chipset, obviously. And as long as Vivo keeps on holding back in it, it will be difficult recommending it over the others in the market. Only if Vivo had provided the Snapdragon 730G, it would make sense at least to keep it in the list among the best, because the Vivo V19 really does give tough competition in aspects like design, display, cameras, and battery, among other things. So in the current scenario, it really looks like Vivo needs to step up a little bit. Otherwise, with Oneplus targeting the same price segment and with the battle of Realme and Redmi phones, the market looks rather difficult for Vivo phones right now. So that was all for our review of the Vivo V19 after using it for a month. Which one would you go for? The Vivo V19, or would you go for the A71, or wait for the Oneplus Nord instead? Do let us know in the comments below. Till then, I'm Pratima Adhikari and thank you so much for watching.